Have you ever felt like you've been learning English for years, but somehow you're still not comfortable speaking or understanding it? You study vocabulary. You learn grammar. You watch English videos. But when a real conversation happens, you freeze. You don't understand what people are saying. Or you know what you want to say, but the words just don't come out. If this sounds familiar, the problem might not be your effort. The problem might be that you're using the wrong method for your current stage. Because learning English is not one single journey. There are different stages. And each stage has a different problem, which means it needs a different solution. So today, let's find out which stage you are in. The first stage is what I call English sounds like noise. This is usually where beginners start. At this stage, you might know some basic vocabulary. You know words like important, comfortable, different. You can recognize them when you see them on paper. But when someone says them in a real conversation, your brain cannot catch them. Native speakers sound too fast. Sometimes it feels like they are saying one long, impossible sentence. But here is the important thing. Your problem is not that you are bad at English. Your brain simply has not trained itself to recognize English sounds yet. Think about listening to a song in a language you don't know. At first, it just sounds like random sounds. But after hearing it many times, suddenly you start recognizing the words. English works the same way. At this stage, your focus should not be learning thousands of new words. Your focus should be training your ears. Learn how English is actually pronounced. Listen to short sentences. Or repeat them. Let your brain become familiar with English sounds. The second stage is, I know the words, but I still can't understand conversations. This is where many learners get stuck. Because they already know a lot of English. They can read. They can do grammar exercises. They can understand subtitles. But without subtitles, everything becomes difficult. Why? Because spoken English is different from textbook English. For example, you learned, I am going to, but in daily conversations, people often say, I'm gonna, you learned. Did you eat yet? But native speakers might pronounce it more like, did ya eat yet? The words are not completely different. Your brain just hasn't connected the written form with the real sound. At this stage, you need more exposure to real conversations. Listen to natural English. Practice shadowing. Repeat sentences until they become familiar. The goal is not just knowing English. The goal is recognizing English instantly. The third stage is, I understand English, but I can't speak naturally. This is probably one of the most frustrating stages. Because you feel like, I know enough English. Why can't I talk? Someone asks you a simple question. What did you do yesterday? And suddenly, your mind goes blank. You know the answer. But your brain starts searching. First, you think in Vietnamese. Then you translate. Then you try to create an English sentence. And by the time you finish thinking, the moment is gone. The problem is not knowledge. The problem is automaticity. Speaking is a skill. You don't become good at speaking by only learning more information. You become good by practicing using English. At this stage, you need more speaking practice. Practice common situations. Practice answering simple questions. Learn useful sentence patterns that you can use immediately. Because fluent speakers don't create every sentence from zero. They use patterns they have practiced many times. The fourth stage is, I can communicate, but I want to improve. At this stage, you can already use English in daily situations. You can talk about your work, your studies, your hobbies. You can have conversations. But you want something more. You want to sound more natural, more confident, more like a comfortable English speaker. Now your focus changes. You start improving your pronunciation, expanding your expressions, learning how native speakers actually communicate. You are no longer building the foundation. You are polishing your skills. So, which stage are you in? The reason many people spend years learning English without seeing big improvement is because they keep doing the same things, even when their problems have changed. A beginner and an intermediate learner should not follow the same plan. Someone who cannot understand spoken English needs a different approach from someone who can understand but cannot speak. The first step in improving English is not finding more materials. It is understanding yourself. Where am I right now? What is stopping me? And what should I focus on next? Because the best English learning method is not the one with the most lessons. It is the one designed for your current level, your goals, and your daily life. And that is how you stop studying English randomly and start making real progress.